One of the ideas I've been thinking about a ton is the difference between having to do something and choosing to do something. At least in my own life, I definitely feel most of that has been spent feeling like I have to do, instead of feeling like I'm choosing to do. I think it's such a small distinction that so many of us forget that we have a choice. It's easy to just go along and do things because that's what everybody does. Go to school, get a certain job. I think even the idea of having to sacrifice what you want to do because there are certain things that you have to do, which can be true from a certain perspective, but more often than not, I feel that most of us choose to do things and go down routes that ultimately lead us nowhere, into unhappy places, because we feel that to be happy or to go for what we want is unattainable. Even small things like choosing a job because a certain job has a prestige to it, or a dollar amount to it, or whatever it might be, even though we know deep down there's a part of us that intuitively knows we're not going to be happy. And it's interesting, I've even talked to some people in my own life who, when I would ask them advice, they would tell me, yes, make the sacrifice, because you have to do these things. It's just a part of life. And for the longest time, I listened. And again, I don't think it's necessarily black and white that, making a sacrifice is always bad. I think there's necessary sacrifices that we have to make. But what level of consciousness and awareness are you making those sacrifices from? It actually blows my mind. Now that I'm about to be 30, I look back over my life, how many decisions that ultimately I wasn't even really making a choice. Choices were being made for me. And now I look at my life and I don't have to settle. I don't have to do the things that I feel like I have to do. In certain ways, right? You have to eat to survive. You have to drink to survive. You have to sleep. But so many of the decisions that I made in my own life were because a part of me deep down, maybe in the subconscious, felt unworthy. And so I would take certain jobs or do certain things or allow people to treat me in a certain way because a part of me believed that this is what I deserved. So really, in a way, the choices that I was making from a place of have to was because I believed that I deserved to be doing these things and that I didn't deserve to be doing other things. But it's like, why, bro? Like, why can't I do the things that I want to do? Why can't I? And then the logical brain starts going, the ego brain starts going. But you can logically think yourself into ending your own life. But that doesn't make it the right thing to do. I know that's a heavy thing to say, but it's true. People who go down that route and attempt that, they have a lot of logical reasons as to why that's the right thing for them. But all of us know that it's the wrong thing to do, because critical thinking and rational thinking are different than logical thinking. Logical is a part of it, But our logical brain can only go so far, and it requires external programming. And I think, at least in my own life, I'm learning to trust myself more and more. And I feel like I look around me and so many people, at least in my life experience that I've met, so many of these people are not really making decisions. Choices are being made for them. Now, in a certain way, that is a choice, right? You're choosing to let life make choices for you, but I don't even think many people are aware of that. So the older I've gotten and the more I've read and the more that I've learned and contemplated and meditated and prayed and spoken with my wife, I've come to recognize how all of life really is just reflecting back to me, whether I'm choosing to go where I want to go or whether I'm being pushed in certain directions. And ultimately, I'm sure that it's really 50-50 in a certain way, where there's 50% of life pushing you, but also 50% you choosing to go in certain directions, or at least thinking that you're choosing to go. I don't know. We'll see where life goes, but also it's okay to lean into the fear and lean into the unknown. And I trust myself, and I trust you. It sounds cheesy, but yeah.